Here's a fun question. If you added up every step, train ride, car trip, and flight in your life, how many times do you think you would travel around the Earth? The answer? About 4 times. On average, we walk the equivalent of 3 times around the planet and travel another full circle using cars, trains, planes, and buses. We move a lot. To work, to connect, to explore. It keeps our lives and economies running. But all that movement also creates a big challenge for the planet. In this sticker, we'll explore the link between transport and sustainability, how different ways of travelling compare, and what it means for our own carbon footprints.
Transport is the engine of everyday life. It gets us to school, work, and holidays. It delivers food to shops and connects families and friends. Access to transport also underpins fair and thriving communities. Without it, people can be cut off from jobs, education, and healthcare. But there's another side to the story. Most transport today, cars, lorries, ships, planes, still relies on fossil fuels, and that has big environmental costs. According to the United Nations, the transport sector produces around 1/4 of all global greenhouse gas emissions. For nearly half the world's countries, transport is actually the largest source of energy-related emissions. And for the rest, it's the second largest. So wherever you live, the way people and goods move has a major climate impact. That's why governments around the world are trying to make transport cleaner and more efficient, from investing in public transport to setting electric vehicle targets.
Not all travel is created equal. If you walk or cycle to work, your carbon footprint is almost zero. Take a bus or train, and your impact stays relatively low. But drive alone in a petrol car or take a short flight, and emissions rise quickly. A UK government study compared different types of transport, and the results are clear. Walking and cycling produced almost zero emissions. They were too small to even feature in the study. Public transport, much lower impact than private cars. Electric cars produce fewer emissions than petrol or diesel cars over their lifetime, and domestic flights produce far higher emissions per kilometre than trains. This is why many countries are investing in electric vehicles and better rail networks, and why cities are redesigning streets to make walking and cycling safer. But cost and access still matter. In some places, trains or electric cars are expensive or hard to find. Governments and companies need to make low-carbon travel more affordable and convenient for everyone. The good news? Some of the greenest ways to travel, like walking, cycling, and taking the bus or coach, often save money, reduce emissions, and improve health.
So how much does transport really matter to our own environmental impact? Quite a lot. On average, how we travel is one of our top contributors to our personal carbon footprints. A University of Michigan study found that transport is the biggest single source of emissions for the average household in the United States, ahead of home energy use or diet. And a global review of 7,000 studies reached a similar conclusion. Transport choices are the number one way individuals can cut their carbon footprints. In fact, 4 of the top 5 recommended actions were all about travel: living car-free, driving an electric vehicle, flying less, using public transport more. So while governments and businesses play a huge role, this is also an area where our individual decisions really count.
Let's go back to where we started. Across a lifetime, humans travel a lot. That movement connects our communities, but it also adds up environmentally. We've seen that transport is essential for society, but a major source of emissions. Different modes of travel have very different impacts, and our personal travel choices can make a real difference. So, here's your challenge. Take a moment to think about your own travel habits. Is transport something you've considered as part of your footprint? And is there one small change, a bus ride, a walk, a cycle, a shared lift that could make a difference? Collect and share this sticker with colleagues, because when it comes to travel, every journey counts and every choice adds up. Happy collecting!